What's up, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I am the very cool Professor Simon, joined by the loser Professor Josh and the very strict, commonly hated Professor John Luke. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
I feel good. I'm a loser.
You know what? You're going to learn the most in John Luke's class. While you're in the class, you may go, man, this guy's a hard ass. I'm not
strict,
for it.
But fair.
At the end of the semester, after you take your final exam, you're going to leave and you go, you know what? I learned a lot from that guy. He was actually a great professor.
Beautiful son of a bitch.
Guys, we got some questions in here already. Mike, I think we hit the first one at the end of the last show, but let's go through it again real quick. He said, what the heck do I do with Julio Jones? I'm tempted to drop and pick up Aiyuk or Bateman. Thoughts? So we'll hit that one first. I know I said I would keep Julio Jones in this case, and Josh, you agreed with me, I believe, right? But it was close.
Yes, I would keep Julio Jones, but Aiyuk and Bateman, they're assets for sure. You want on your fantasy team. Aiyuk just had his best week of the year this past week, so he's interesting to me, but I'm holding on to Julio Jones.
Yeah, and JL, I believe you said Bateman, if I remember correctly, right?
No, I said it was close. I said it would be tough to give up Julio. I think I might be changing my tune a little. I thought about it a little bit more after the stream. I think I might pick up Bateman.
Yeah, it is close between those two. I think they're both the number 2 receiving option in their offense, right? I have a little bit more trust in Julio Jones, but Bateman's got some serious upside going forward. Mike's next question, he wants to know, start Carter or Javonte this weekend? So Michael Carter or Javonte Williams? Josh, where are you going here?
I'll go Michael Carter in a PPR. As long as it's a PPR league, I feel a lot more comfortable with. I think that Carter probably has a little bit more upside and a safer floor because he's getting those receptions. If Javonte ever could, just take this starting gig and run with it away from Melvin Gordon, which I just don't see happening because Melvin Gordon looks so good. I would feel, Javonte would be an every week starter, but got to go Carter at this point.
I think these guys are back-to-back in my rankings this week. I'm going to lean Javonte because of the matchup. Michael Carter is going against Buffalo, which is the best defense against running backs. Javonte Williams going against Eagles, who are 27th ranked against running backs. It's just an easier matchup for Javonte Williams. And I would hate to see another game where Buffalo gets really far ahead. Not another game where the Jets get behind and they just don't use Michael Carter.
The thing I will say
leads to Michael Carter having a better game, honestly.
I was going to say that game script really benefits Michael Carter in my eyes. He makes most of his work in the receiving game. It's why maybe I was a little bit disappointed with him last week, but Mike White is expected to start in this game. All signs point towards Mike White being the starting quarterback who loves dumping the ball off to Michael Carter from what we have seen so far. And against a Buffalo Bills defense, I think they're going to have to get him involved in the receiving game. So I'm going to go Michael Carter here, but it is a close one.
It's close.
I'm going to go Michael Carter.
Javonte looks so good.
He does. Guys, before we get into our next question, I want to remind everyone watching, if you have not done so already, go ahead and hit that like button on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. We are here Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. playing games on the Fantasy Football Game Show. And then on Tuesday, Thursday on the same channel at 4:15, you can catch us for Fantasy Football Office Hours, answering your questions, which we are doing right now. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you don't miss any of our shows coming up. We got Dello in here. What is up? He said Daryl Williams, Rashad Bateman, Aiyuk, or Renfro this weekend.
For what? Okay, for this weekend. I just want to mention to everyone, Odell Beckham was not signed off the waivers, by the way. He's available to be picked up by anyone at this point. So we'll see if anything breaks during the show here. So starting one of these guys for this week, it's Daryl Williams, as long as CH doesn't come back.
Yeah.
I think I would go. Oh, it's close. I think I would go Hunter Renfrow though.
I'm with you, Jale. I like the matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're probably going to throw the ball quite a bit against this Chiefs defense, and I'll go Hunter Renfrow here, but it is very close between him and Daryl Williams. Mm-hmm. I think, like we talk about the safety of Daryl Williams if CEH is out with the guaranteed touches, Hunter Renfrow is about as safe as a wide receiver option as you can get in this range. So I'll take that safety right there.
I'm assuming PPR. If it's not PPR.
Welcome into the chat. We got Carlos in here saying, I failed my test last week, but we're going to ace it this week thanks to Office Hours. I just noticed that Singletary is on waivers, Singletary or Freeman. So Zach Moss did get injured in this past game. Is there any update on that news? Josh, do you know?
Question.
Not that I heard. I think it was a head injury, if I remember correctly.
Concussion confirmed.
Yep.
So he'll likely at least miss this week.
That's possibly not necessarily true. He could come back this week. He could. But I would pick up Singletary over Freeman.
Really? JL, what about you?
Yeah, I think I would pick up Singletary as well.
If Zach Moss is out, I'll pick up Singletary. But if you need a starter like going down the stretch more than just this week, a bye week fill-in, I'll go Freeman. Like if this is a bye week fill-in and Zach Moss is out, Singletary is the obvious choice for me. But I think you got rest of season value from Devonta Freeman in my eyes. Or I don't know if you're gonna want to plug Devin Singletary in when Zach Moss is back and fully healthy. What's up, Swamp? Welcome in. Said, who dat? Just got home from work.
Hey.
Lost in his Smash League, but 8-1 in the Jimmy John's League, taking the #1 spot. Appreciate y'all for the help. We appreciate you coming in here all the time, Swamp.
It was all you.
Yeah. Well, some of us.
We just gave you the ingredients. You cooked the meal.
Schmid wants to know Colt McCoy or Derek Carr. If Kyler can't play this week, it is Derek Carr by a long shot for me going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. That is a bad defensive match or a great matchup for quarterbacks so far this season. And Derek Carr has been putting together a pretty decent season, even against non-bad defenses. This is a slam dunk Derek Carr call in my eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not even close.
Carlos said if Claypool is out this week, is Muth a must-start flex? Josh, what do you think here?
He's not a must-start flex. There are plenty of people that I would start over Pat Freiermuth. While he's a good option, especially if Claypool's out, he's going to get targets. He's going to be involved. Is he a must-start tight end? Probably, just because there's not going to be a ton of tight ends above him. But maybe you have Travis Kelce and Pat Freiermuth on your team. Can you flex him? Absolutely. Is he a must-start flex? No.
I'm with Josh. I think he's a top 10 tight end, like a back end top 10 tight end. But in the grand scheme of the other positions, no, there's plenty of players that I'd rather start over him.
And Claypool being out doesn't really affect Pat Freiermuth in my eyes. They are not using the same targets on the field generally. I don't think Pat Freiermuth sees some massive uptick with Chase Claypool out. I think his usage stays relatively the same in that offense.
In the last 3 games, I believe he's ranked 7th amongst all tight ends in terms of target share. You're not going to have a 2 touchdown game every week. And so I think while I view him as like a decent tight end option. Yeah. I don't think that he's going to return the same type of value you got this week consistently.
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane. He'd be the #1 overall tight end if he got that same kind of value all season.
First round Freiermuth.
Unruly Drip wants to know best streaming quarterback this week or just play Tannehill. So are there players? The name that comes to mind was just asked. If Derek Carr's on your waiver wire, I would start him over Tannehill this week. Josh, what about you? Carson Wentz?
Yeah, he's playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And we just saw Josh Allen light them up. Oh, wait. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I would still play Carson Wentz over Tannehill myself.
I'm with you, Josh. Jale, do you agree with those two?
Yeah, I agree with Carr. Wentz, I would start over him. The name I would throw in there is Matt Ryan. I'd start Matt Ryan over him this week.
What about Kirk Cousins? Would you guys start Kirk Cousins over Ryan Tannehill this week? He's going up against the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would. It's close though.
Yeah. When we're talking about Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, and Ryan Tannehill, they're like all in the same tier for this week. I would play Derek Carr and Carson Wentz over him for sure. I'll go Kirk Cousins over Ryan Tannehill, but I think I'll go Tannehill over Matt Ryan myself. But they're, again, same tier.
Yep. Bam says, all my chips are on OBJ to Green Bay. That would be exciting if OBJ ended up in Green Bay. That would be very cool for
OG Bay. That was it.
OG Bay.
Oh my God, that works though. We had that. Remember we made that goof? We said that, but it's actually like a mashup of OBJ and Green Bay. OG Bay.
Is it BAE?
Wow. Did we like somehow have a premonition that this was going to happen?
It hasn't happened yet.
We know.
OG Bay.
Come here now wants to know Josh Allen or Matt Ryan this week.
Don't get cute. It's Josh Allen. Yeah, he's going against the Jets. Don't take last week and expect that.
Put Josh Allen in your lineup and feel very good about it.
Yeah, have him as QB2 this week.
Yeah, sure. I'd play Lamar and Tom Brady over him, but that's it.
So Swamp wanted us to rate his team, but he's watching on Twitch, and it looks like we're having issues streaming to Twitch right now. So I'm going to try to get those resolved, and then we will come back to that question when I know Swamp's able to watch It wasn't having issues. It now is. I got the notification that they're having issues broadcasting to Twitch right now. So unless he comes over on YouTube, I want to wait till it shows up to make sure he's here for us rating his team. Mike wants to know thoughts on Chris Carson. I don't have any expectation for him to play again this season. Could it happen? Yeah, but I'm assuming with a neck injury like that we're not going to get meaningful snaps out of Chris Carson the rest of the year.
We just don't know. I could see it go. I could see him playing this week, and I could see him not playing again. I lean towards being out longer than quicker, but like Pete Carroll said, he's going to be on the field. I don't know what that means exactly. He's going to be practicing a little bit. I'm nervous for Chris Carson.
JL?
Yeah, I'm not gonna start him. Not this week.
Oh yeah.
And then how do you guys feel about Logan Thomas? Is he going to play this week?
Opposite of Chris Carson. He has been hurt, and I am confident once he comes back, he's going to be a valuable tight end for your team. He's absolutely worth a play if he's starting.
Agreed.
The latest news that we have here on Logan Thomas is that he did practice. He tested his hamstring injury on Monday, this past Monday. So I believe his practice window is expected to open up this week. I doubt he could suit up this weekend, but I wouldn't start him.
We're starting like Pat Freiermuth over Logan Thomas, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I wanted to ask you guys, I guess.
Okay, guys, Swamp wanted us to rate his team. I just wanted to point out some of the positional rankings through this point of the season so far right here. So his wide receivers, he's got Hollywood Brown, Godwin, and Mike Williams. Beautiful. Hollywood Brown is the number 6 overall wide receiver right now. Chris Godwin is the number 9 overall wide receiver right now. And Mike Williams is the number 16 overall wide receiver right now. So Beautiful. Of your 3 starting wide receivers, the lowest ranked one is the 16th overall wide receiver. You're doing pretty good with this team, probably.
And then you throw T. Higgins into
that T. Higgins and Claypool
as the backups. Like those are 4 and 5. Come on, you're doing good.
This is a beautiful team. So
I would try to maybe package wide receiver and upgrade somewhere. Maybe
Claypool and Williams, and maybe try to upgrade at running back or something along those lines. Or Claypool plus James Conner now that Montgomery's back to try to upgrade.
James Conner is going to be awesome while Chase Edmonds is out. But once Edmonds comes back, we know what James Conner more or less is in my mind, which is still a fine play.
The running back 1 overall. I'm just kidding.
If one of your league mates is really hyped off James Conner and that injury and stuff, like I would absolutely explore selling high. But I agree with Josh. Like I'm excited for the output the next few weeks if it's just him.
Yeah, I mean, if you could package like Mike Williams with James Conner and get like one of those top 5 running backs,
beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Look at the value you got. We won't harp anymore on it, but the value. I would love to see the ADP value on each of these players.
Yeah, the value.
Okay, guys, we had another question. Steve wants to know: would you trade Elliott and Pollard for, or who would you trade Elliott and Pollard for? So a package deal with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. What would be the kind of value you're looking for in return?
Ezekiel Elliott he's still an easy top 10 running back for me. He is an elite producer at the running back position. I know there are a little bit concerns, but I'm not that concerned. So if you're trading Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, who you can throw into your flex if you need to on any given Sunday, I would need to get a top 5 running back. And even then it's still a question mark. We're talking about like Najee Harris or even Christian McCaffrey. I would do it for.
Okay, Najee Harris, Christian McCaffrey. What about Cooper Kupp? Assuming,
no. It's going to be so team dependent. I hate saying it, but like when we're talking about these, like running backs, a more valuable position. Cooper Kupp is a more valuable player than Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to score more fantasy points over the course of the remainder of the year, in my opinion. So if you don't have the running back depth to go get Cooper Kupp with this trade, then I would not do it.
Okay, I assume the same answer for this one, similar answer. But what about him or Jamar Chase? Would you be interested in seeing if you have the depth?
That's something. I mean, again, if I'm completely loaded at running back, I've got Dalvin Cook, Alvin Camara, and let's say, maybe Nick Chubb floating around and plus Zeke. Sure. Yeah. I would love to do that trade to upgrade my running back position, but like I need to be locked in at running.
Yeah, of course. What about Mixon for these two guys?
No. Elliott and Mixon are pretty similar.
Aaron Jones?
Same thing.
Eckler? Same thing.
Eckler separates himself a little bit. in a PPR league,
trying to find your line, Josh.
I would be okay with that. In a PPR league, I'd be okay with that.
And Chub?
Chub now.
You'd rather have Elliott and Pollard?
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. There you go, Steven. Brendan Via Campa asks, do you guys like Ravens D or Broncos D this week? What do you think, Josh?
Let me just check out those matchups real fast. Ravens D or Broncos D. Let's see. The Ravens. Oh, I'm not even looking at the right matchups. I was looking at the matchups from last week.
I think I would go Ravens here. Ravens going against Miami. Broncos are going against Philadelphia. Yeah, I would rather have Miami. Yeah. I know Tua might play, but even so, Baltimore's defense is very good.
Yeah. I'll play that's a tough one. I'll play the Ravens D. It's the Ravens D for me.
Kevin here saying bird up. Sup, Swamp?
Swampy.
Oh, wait. Jay Wall asking.
Oh, no, never mind. I thought that was actually Swamp.
Jay Wall asking, will you ever trade with me, Simon, or Josh?
Hey, I just made a trade in the league, it wasn't with you. See, the thing is, I'm going for, I've recently decided I'm going for the championship. Jay Wall, it's tough for you and me to trade because we have two of the best teams in the league. Where our teams are stacked, bro. Like, it's good. It's hard to just like maneuver. I look at your team and it's just like, what can I take away from you that you don't feel like you're going to need the rest of the season?
Yeah. I like that philosophy when trading. Yeah. Delo asking Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, or Kyler Murray. It's Kyler.
Are we talking about just this week?
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, regardless, it's Kyler Murray. Sorry.
It's Kyler Murray. Yep.
Yeah.
And then come here now, ask Pittman or Renfro. It's Pittman. It's Pittman.
I thought there was a chance you would have gone for some reason. You'd be like, I don't know,
Renfro.
But Renfro has been consistent. As consistent as all hell. So, but it's Pittman.
Pittman has just gotten so much of that target share. It's absurd.
He is the wide receiver one of the Colts. He is a safety blanket for Carson Wentz, and he's got upside. I mean, he's got everything you're looking for in a number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah. Swamp saying, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks, good reminder. These guys got me 8-1. You got you 8-1, Swamp.
Yeah, let's go. You got it.
You the man, Swamp.
We helped you along. We pushed you along.
Yeah. Mike asking, I've been holding Carson on IR. Should I continue to hold or drop?
Continue to hold.
Just
hold. Just because we're saying like we're a little bit pessimistic about his situation does not mean he couldn't come back. And if they decide he's fine, I do believe he will be the starter. So you got to hold.
If you can trade him away for decent value, I would do it, but I don't think you can at this point.
Show your league mates some news, Pete Carroll. Look, Pete Carroll says he's going to be back Wednesday. I think he's a great trade if you're able to. But
Pete Carroll's best at that. Boosting your players' trade value.
Yeah, thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete. Carlos, how do you guys feel about CMC going forward? Obviously, Rule put him on a leash last week, but Sam Darnold isn't doing the Panthers any favors. I don't think CMC is limited at all by Sam Darnold. I think CMC is gonna get his, and we saw that this past week.
Limitless. He's
limitless. He is Mr. Limitless.
He was limited and still got 4 catches on 5 targets, 14 carries in his first week back.
That's what I was going to say.
CMC is a top 3 running back for me the rest of the season in a PPR league.
If that's limited, if that's the floor, if that's a limited CMC, man, am I hyped about him going forward. Yeah, like I would take a limited CMC over 90% of the running backs out there. I'm excited about him rest of the season.
Yes, sirree.
Jared in here wants to know, are Tony and Deontay Harris droppable? So I wouldn't drop Tony. I would hold Tony if at all possible. I think Deontay Harris is droppable in my eyes. Tony has upside going down the stretch. He's a rookie wide receiver who could have a bit of a breakout. We've seen some explosiveness from him. I'm not confident that's going to happen, but if possible, I want to hold him. I would drop Deontay Harris. JL, what about you?
I'm with you too. I wouldn't be so quick to drop Deontay Harris. I think he's a fine stash. Just the last 2 weeks. Week 8, he got 7 targets. Week 9, he got 8 targets. He's not seeing a ton of the snaps here in New Orleans. So I'm not like pressed to keep him as I am with Tony. I would definitely be holding Tony. But I think either of these guys are a fine stash if you have the room.
I am completely fine cutting ties with Deontay Harris. Tony, like you guys said, he's got so much upside, and if everything goes right, it could be a very valuable fantasy asset. Guys, Julio Jones or Kadarius Toney, who would you rather have on your bench right now?
Tony for upside.
Yeah, Toney absolutely has the upside. I kind of struggle with that question myself.
That's tough.
Yeah. I think Julio Jones possibly has a lot of untapped potential himself. We know he has had elite talent in the past, and if this Titans team can figure it out and turns into more of a pass-heavy offense, Julio Jones could have value on forward. But yeah, I'll lean Toney as well there.
Come here now, Beach says, do you like Gesicki for 50 points on Thursday?
Absolutely.
At least 60.
Probably.
Maybe 75 is what you can expect from him. Yeah, he's
not going to get 50 points, bro. Sorry. Or whatever.
Javen says, full PPR. Who do I flex? Bateman, McNichols, Javonte, or Goddard? JL, which one of these players would you flex this week?
We just talked about who's Goddard playing.
Yeah, we did just talk about it, didn't we? I forget.
Not Vegas.
I'll tell you guys real fast. For me,
they're playing Denver.
It's going to be
Denver. That answers two questions. Denver and Philly are playing each other.
Yeah, I think it's Javonte for me as well.
Same here. It is also Javonte for me. And then come here now, Beach 89 says, do you think Chub will play? Josh, you were talking about this a little bit. You think he's going to play?
I think he's going to play. Yeah, I think he's going to play. I mean, I don't know. He has COVID, so he's got to get a positive. He is vaccinated, so all he needs is to have 2 positive tests before his game on Sunday.
Negative.
So I meant positive in how he felt about the test, not joking.
You're right.
I lean Chub.
Also, Peng's pick said, I didn't know Josh was a Chubb hater. What did I miss?
I love Chub.
I was going to say, what did I miss while I was gone?
Oh, maybe that might have been when we were talking about Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard over Chub.
I would rather have Ezekiel Elliott over Chub.
Also, yeah. Steven, you are never pestering us or bothering us. I understand the concerns about Zeke. If you've got questions, bring them in. Pester the hell out of us. We love answering them. Do not think that you're pestering us or annoying us here.
Simon, would you rather have Zeke or Chub?
Rest of the season?
Yeah.
Zeke and Pollard for
Chub?
Chub.
What about Zeke and Pollard or Chub?
It is Zeke and Pollard, technically.
Chub. Honestly, Pollard, that doesn't improve my starting lineup, and it gives me a little bit more security in the backup situation. But I am, especially at this point in the season, this is where you start consolidating. Know what I mean? Like maybe you're building
starting lineup in like a 16-man league.
In a 16-man league, yeah. But this is the point in the season where if I'm making trades, I am starting to build this incredibly fragile powerhouse. Like where one injury could derail it entirely, but if nothing happens, it is an unbelievable team. And that's what
By the way, people, that is Simon's method.
That is my method.
Championships. I like to have a player ready to go just in case, you know what I'm saying?
I like that.
But I do like the point you made. Consolidation it makes sense later on in the season more.
Less chances for injury, right? The risk of injury goes down with each week that they're not playing another game. Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert this week. Josh, where are you going here?
I'm going back to the well with Patrick Mahomes. I know he's been disappointing, but I'm still throwing in my lineup. So Justin Herbert's playing the Minnesota Vikings. Patrick Mahomes playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Herbert's at home, which might give him the edge for a lot of people. I'm keeping Patrick Mahomes in my lineup.
I'll go Herbert, and it's narrative city here. It's not just that he's been poor this season. It's that he's been poor so far, and he's going up against a team that has historically given him troubles, right? He has struggled against the Raiders in the past. Add that to the disappointment. There are not many quarterbacks I'm starting over Patrick Mahomes any given week, but this week with the matchup, Justin Herbert's on that short list of players that I would start above him. JL?
I'll go Mahomes. It's so close, though. They're back to back.
Close. Yeah. Super close.
Jared wants to know, where do you value OBJ as a potential waiver wire pickup kind of guy? He's not even a must add in my eyes. JL, what about you?
I would be adding him. Just the upside. As long as you're not dropping someone who has long-term value for your team, absolutely. Just see what you have, and if it's nothing, if he signs with a bad team or it's not looking good, cut ties. It should be a low risk, high reward type of move.
Not expecting OBJ to be really valuable the rest of the season, but if he lands with the right team, I'll get a little excited. But again, not expecting much.
Then they could force volume his way too, given everything that's happened. That could be like a focal point of whatever team. Like, for instance, if he goes to the Packers, I could see them trying to, making a concerted effort to get the ball to OBJ.
That'll be interesting. I feel like Aaron Rodgers and his wide receivers haven't always gotten along, and OBJ and his quarterbacks have not always gotten along. That might be a personalities just waiting to clash on that one. But that's all just narrative street again right there. I don't know how much we can speculate with that. I'm just thinking from like a drama perspective, having those two guys on the same team may be fun. Evan wants to know Carr or Hurts or Carr for –
Wait, what?
I'm a little bit confused.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, so Carr, Hurts, or Aaron Rodgers? Who would you start?
Carr or Hurts or Carr for Aaron. So Carr for Hurts.
Well, I think is he just asking for this week?
I think he's asking.
No, he's asking trade. That's because right 4.
No, I think it's supposed to say or instead of for.
That doesn't make sense though.
I don't think.
Well, it doesn't make sense the other way either, because one of them says or, one of them says for. So,
well, I'm saying you add an F onto that first or, and it makes sense. It's
you take the F away from the second one, and it makes sense the other way.
Don't do this.
Well, why would he put Carr twice? And if it was or, why would he put Carr twice?
Maybe he has Carr at his starting lineup, and he's thinking about picking up one of these guys. I don't know.
Maybe. I'll answer from a trade perspective. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think. I think I would rather maybe have Hurts just for the rushing upside here. But I think it's a lateral move either way.
I'd rather Hurts start if I'm starting, like picking of these 3 guys to start. I would start Jalen Hurts.
Aaron Rodgers if he's healthy.
Aaron Rodgers if he's healthy for Josh. Come here now. Beach 89 says, is Jamar Chase for Dalvin Cook a fair trade?
Yeah.
That's pretty fair. I think depends what your team needs, but it makes sense.
I'd rather have Dalvin Cook because it's running back, but it's a fair trade. Jamar Chase has been killing it.
JR in his guillotine league. So if you remember correctly, each week they can pick up 1 player, I believe. They just get 1 player from the eliminated team. So he wants to know, do I bid on Mike Williams or Darren Waller? Starts 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 3 flex. He has Pitts, Hawk, Deontay, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, and Brandon Cooks looking for a flex. So who's the better flex rest of season, Mike Williams or Darren Waller?
It's a great question. Like my initial thought was like, oh, it's Darren Waller. And then I saw your tight ends and I'm like, oh, it's Mike Williams. And I'm like, well, I mean, like, who would I actually rather like flex the rest of the year? Is it Darren Waller or Mike Williams? And I think I'd rather flex Darren Waller. I'd rather flex Darren Waller in a PPR league.
Dale, what do you think here?
Oh man. I think it would be Mike Williams, but I am concerned with his injury and usage over the last couple of weeks, but it's still Mike Williams.
I think Williams has a nice ceiling there, but I'm going to go Darren Waller as well, Josh. It is so close, though. That is a really tough decision you're having to make, JR, if you can only pick up one. But I'll go Darren Waller.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm just like, it's Darren Waller, honestly. Like Mike Williams was killing it at the beginning of the season, but he's been disappointing lately, and he's going to have big weeks to come, but so is Darren Waller. So the consistency sends it over the edge for me.
Carlos said, you guys just hyped me up for CMC so much.
CMC season. Let's go.
CM season.
Yo, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a top 5 running back. I can't see it happening otherwise.
Jared wants to know, who do I drop? Deontay Harris, Madison, Jeff Wilson, or Gage? Josh, which of these players would you drop?
We're getting to the point in the year where backup running backs are more and more valuable. So I'm probably going to try to hang on to Alexander Madison. Jeff Wilson, did he do anything? He didn't do anything, right? This week, this was his first week active, and I'm pretty sure
his game log.
He was relatively useless.
He doesn't even have any information in his game log.
He didn't record a snap.
It's not Gage. It's not Madison. It's Jeff Wilson, I guess.
Yep.
But Deontay Harris is a fine drop. We just said as well.
Yeah, I'd say Jeff Wilson or Deontay Harris, but it's Jeff Wilson for me.
It's Jeff Wilson for me as well. And full agreement with you there, JL. Is one of those 2 guys, but I'm dropping Jeff Wilson. Brendan wants us to rate his team. Quarterbacks, Brady and Stafford. Running backs, CMC, Hunt, Moss, Dearness Johnson. Wide receivers, Cooks, DK, Jacoby, Emmanuel Sanders. Tight ends, Andrews, Knox, DST Ravens, and then
14
Matt Gay at kicker.
14 man.
Thank you for that context on the 14 man.
Yeah, I needed that context because it definitely changes things.
I think your wide receivers in a 14-man league are pretty good. Know what I mean? Like, that is a fine wide receiver core. DK Metcalf, Brandon Cooks, and then one of Jacoby Myers or Emmanuel Sanders in that 3 spot. Totally cool with that. I would be looking for an upgrade at the RB2 spot there. I think that's your weakness until Hunt comes back. That's the weakness that stands out to me on this team. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would see if one of your league mates would. I mean, I never trade for QBs in a 1 QB league, but with Brady and Stafford, you got two, in my eyes, top 3 QBs on the rest of the season. And so I would go see if one of your 14 team league, there's probably someone who needs an upgrade at QB, and I would see if you could package either Brady or Stafford for and maybe another piece and try and upgrade at running back.
It's a great idea.
I don't know if people realize, but Dawson Knox was freaking amazing. He's a top 5 tight end in terms of points per game in a PPR league. If you could package, Brady or Stafford with Knox.
What about would you guys
lower piece? Yeah.
Would you guys package Brady or Stafford with Andrews to try to get a big upgrade at running back with Knox at the tight end there? To like go try to grab an Aaron Jones or DeAndre Swift or something like that.
I mean, if you can get a DeAndre Swift or Aaron Jones, I'm about that.
What about you?
But you need a top 10 running back to make the move like that. Still,
that. I think you would need a really good value back. I would be worried a little bit with just Dawson Knox as my tight end.
Yeah, I get that, but I wouldn't be opposed to that move. I think that's a great idea to try to package a quarterback and one of those tight ends and see if you can upgrade at the running back position. Should I trade Aaron Jones for CMC?
I would.
Yeah. It's kind of lateral for me, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably rather have CMC for the rest of the season. By the way, before we get to the next question, Evan was asking about trade Carr for Hurts or trade Carr for Aaron Rodgers. What do you guys think?
I would trade Carr for both of those players, I think.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer, Hurts or Rodgers?
Rest of season, I'll take Rodgers.
I'll take Hurts. JL?
I didn't want to answer. I was hoping you'd just move on. I'll take Hurts.
You're the tiebreaker. We need.
I was going to say if we had agreed, we could have skipped you, but we had a tie, so we had to come to you on that one. 2 Hurts, 1 Rodgers. J Wall with an awful question that hurts my feelings. Antonio Gibson or Javonte Williams rest of season. Josh, since you seem so emphatically excited to answer this one,
I really want to answer this one.
Who would you take rest of season?
I don't know. It's probably Javonte Williams at this point.
Who currently has more fantasy points in a PPR league through 9 weeks? Trivia.
It's got to be, I think it's still Antonio Gibson, but it's close.
It's Antonio Gibson by about 3.5 points. It is very, very close.
Antonio Gibson is losing his role. Jared Patterson's more involved. J.D. McKissick's involved. Now, Antonio Gibson isn't the pass catcher.
That being said, Gibson has played 1 less game. He is averaging almost 2 full points more per game in a PPR league. But like you said, Josh,
beginning of the season,
15. Yeah, it isn't. That does not tell the whole story.
That is very top heavy. Yeah, I was just pulling up a snap percentage here. It was around 60 from weeks 1 to 5. 1 to 5. It was around 60, give or take. The last 3 weeks, it's been around 40. So yeah, 39, 42, 33 percentage of the snaps.
God.
That's alarming. It's Javonte Williams for me.
In case anyone doesn't realize, Antonio Gibson has a fractured shin, and that's a problem.
It's not advised for a football player.
I'll go Javonte Williams as well, J-Wall. But, man, it's ugly. I had such high hopes for Antonio Gibson. That one really hurts. Carlos is thinking of throwing up a Julio for OBJ trade. Thoughts, feelings, intuitions?
My intuition and feelings tell me no, I'd rather have Julio. My thoughts tell me the same thing.
Yeah. I don't like either one, so I'll go Julio.
My thoughts and intuitions tell me Julio. My feelings tell me OBJ, but I'm going to follow the thoughts and intuitions. I want OBJ.
That's a Browns fan talking. All right, guys.
He's not on the Browns anymore.
It was a mess for the Browns. He never helped you.
He's a really fun player to watch when he is succeeding. I would love to get some more peak OBJ. So that's why my feelings say that, but thoughts and intuitions are going the other way. J-Wall said, I dig it at Carlos, though. Shoot your shot. And that's a great point. If OBJ is a player you want on your team, I don't think that's a ridiculous value to give up. Know what I mean? None of us would do it, but that's not a preposterous trade. That is fine. Coming here now says Mike Evans for Dalvin Cook. Would you guys Mike Evans for Dalvin Cook? I'll take Cook.
And I think he asked Jamar Chase for Dalvin Cook. Is that fair? Earlier, so I'd rather give up Mike Evans than Jamar Chase.
Oh, I would way rather give up Mike Evans. Yeah. JL, what about you?
Sorry, what was it?
Would you rather give up Mike Evans or Jamar Chase for Dalvin Cook redraft?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Steven gives us a team: Burrow, Eckler, Zeke, Aaron Jones, AJ Brown, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, Noah Fant, Pollard, Javonte, etc. He said you don't need to know the rest of them. 12-team half PPR. I'll trade for Chub or someone else with my Pollard.
Major.
I would trade for Major if I were you. No, Chub. I think this is just going back to a question you guys answered while I was gone, that he wants to upgrade that running back to Chub. Yeah. I'm all for that move.
And I said I wouldn't trade. I'd rather have Zeke and Pollard myself.
Yeah.
Javen says, I have Eckler, CMC, Mixon, Monty, CD, and Terry. I'm looking for a wide receiver upgrade. Who do I trade away and who for?
Eckler, CMC, Mixon,
I mean, CD
Monty.
and Terry, those are two solid wide receivers. Maybe you start 3 wide receivers. I see you have 4 running backs. If you're trading CMC, Eckler, and Mixon, you better be getting a top 10 wide receiver in return.
I wouldn't be too stressed to make this move, but like Josh said, you can move Mixon probably for like a Devontae Adams, a Tyreek Hill. Like you could try that.
I would go for a David Montgomery. I would, if there's one I'm going to trade or try and trade away, I would try and capitalize on his usage last night and trade him away.
What do you think you could get for him? Like a Marquise Brown, maybe?
I think you could probably swing a Marquise Brown.
I'm fine with that.
That's a really good pull, Josh.
Yeah, that is a good
pull. With that.
So what's up, the Colombian? And I'm sorry on your record, 2-7. If it makes you feel better, I got a couple leagues that are not going well so far.
Yeah, pretty sure I'm. What is my record? And I have 1 win in our home league, Simon.
Yeah, that one you're not
family
doing
league.
I think my worst records are the listener league. We're 3-5, 3-6.
Ooh, in the listener league, we are 8-1. Me and Jay. So you guys got to step it up on your side.
You guys just got the easy division.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
The people in our division. No, they are way better than the people in your division.
You hear that, Simon's division?
He's talking shit.
Yeah.
Justin wants to know Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Daryl Williams, start 1. It's DJ Moore for me, even with the quarterback problems.
Disappointing. I know you're nervous to start him, but it's DJ Moore. Still, you got to ride with DJ Moore compared to these other 2 options, in my opinion. But it's scary.
We don't know if it's PPR, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
Would it change it for you? Are you leaning Waddle in PPR? I mean,
all 3 of these guys are close. In PPR, I think I would lean Waddle. All 3 of these guys are extremely close for me, though. I think I would do DJ Moore in a non-PPR.
Oriel says, I hate having a lot of players playing Thursday night. Right now, he has Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, and Justin Tucker. Has Matt Prater on the bench. Yeah, with those 3 guys, don't bench them because they're all playing on Thursday night.
Don't worry about it at all.
Enjoy Thursday night football.
That big of a deal. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. And these guys aren't necessarily eating into each other's value. Justin Tucker, it's a kicker. And then Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown, they've been heavily involved and they play in different parts of the field.
Justin wants to know Titans or Denver defense this week. So, JL, where would you go on this one?
Was it Titans or Denver?
Denver, we just talked about. They're playing the Eagles, and then the Tennessee Titans.
New Orleans. They're playing the
Saints. Ooh, I
would lean Broncos here. That's close.
I'll lean Broncos as well. I'll lean Broncos as well.
Titans have been sneaky. You know what? I'm switching. I'm going to go Titans.
Okay.
I'm glad someone went with the Titans. I was about to just do it just because they're so close, but it's Broncos.
Justin says, what's the status on Stafford? He's expected to play. Last I heard, expected to play this Sunday. I know I Googled it earlier today.
His feelings are a little hurt from last game, but he'll be good.
Mild ankle sprain.
Also, trading does make fantasy fun, Justin. You nailed it on that one.
Justin knows what's up.
You should use that.
I'm not sure why grammar matters, but indeed it does. I agree with you. I don't know who messed that up, but it usually does matter. Evan wants to know, would you trade Carr? Oh, that's the one we already pulled up. There we go. I apologize on that. Charlie says, do I trade away Cooks and Chub for Dalvin or Camara in PPR? My other receivers are Pittman, AB, Keenan, and AJ Brown. I'm not. I view that as kind of like a slightly lateral move at running back, maybe a slight upgrade, and you're giving away a very serviceable wide receiver. I'm not making that move. Josh, you look like you're considering it. Are you making this move?
No, Cooks. I'd rather have Cooks than Chub. Like you said, Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb are relatively similar. I understand what you're trying to do here. It makes sense with your team a little bit because he's loaded at wide receiver.
Yeah, he is.
You might be able to trade Chubb for Dalvin Cook straight up.
Yeah, and that's
after that week.
They're so similar. I'd rather have Dalvin Cook, but Brandon Cooks is too much.
JL, what do you think? Are you doing this trade?
Probably not. No.
Trading makes fantasy fun. Do it.
Jared wants us to rate his team. RMT, rate my team. 12-man, 3 wide receiver PPR. He's got Kyler Murray and Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. Wide receiver Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Kadarius Toney, Deontay Harris. Running backs Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Monty, AP, Madison, Jeff Wilson, Miles Sanders, tight end, Waller, Gronk, Folk. This one's pretty easy for me. Your wide receivers are your weak point. Everything else is rock solid. And you've got enough running backs. You could probably trade one away for a wide receiver piece. Let's go back to David Montgomery. I think you could trade David Montgomery away for a Marquise Brown like we recommended earlier. Josh, what do you think here?
And he has 2 very good tight ends.
Yes.
Gronk, again, I believe he is the number 2 or 3 tight end in PPR points per game. I know he's missed a few weeks with an injury. So maybe you could package Gronk with one of these options to upgrade at receiver. I'll rate your team. I'll give it a B+ right now, which is great. You're going to make the playoffs. And I mean, I don't know your record, but I would assume you make the playoffs. And once you get in there, everyone's got a shot.
John Luke.
Yeah, B+ is right where I was going to land too. Agree with Josh. I would be trying to upgrade your wide receivers. Maybe try again. We kind of already alluded to the strategy, but a package a quarterback and maybe a tight end or one of those running backs to see if you can get a nice wide receiver bump.
Yep, I'm seeing
people are trading for Tanny though.
Yeah, maybe not.
Another
to trade Kyler.
It's dependent on your league. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another rate my team, and I'm assuming not super flex unless you guys tell me. So what JL said on the last one, I think is going to come into play here with the quarterbacks that you have and what you can do. Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Running backs Javonte Williams, Damian Harris, Daryl Williams, Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Wide receivers Deontay Johnson, Devontae Adams, Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins, Chase Claypool, Rashad Bateman. Whoo-wee, as a guy who loves wide receivers, that is a sexy wide receiver core. And then a sneaky good tight end.
It's a 10-man half-point PPR, by the way.
Yeah. Hunter Henry and Dawson Knox at tight end.
In a 10-man, I would want to upgrade at tight end over Hunter Henry and Dawson Knox. It's going to give you a slight edge. I definitely think you can probably, before the trade deadline, package some of these wide receivers, either upgrade your tight end or upgrade your running back depth.
I was going to say, I'm way more concerned about upgrading, not just the depth at running back, but the starters. That in a 10-man league, I would want better starters than Javonte Williams and Damian Harris. Like one of those guys is fine, but if you could package, I don't know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire whenever he comes back healthy, plus a Jerry Jeudy, a T. Higgins, or a Chase Claypool, and get a better running back in return, I would do that. I'm more worried about that than the tight end position.
I would maybe try and package Antonio Gibson. I don't think you're going to be able to trade him on his own, but I think he has enough name value. You might be able to get some value in a package.
And I will rate this team also a B+.
But a different build than the other one. It's a different kind of B+.
It's right? A 10-man compared to a 12-man.
I'll say B-.
And I'll say B medium, right in the middle.
If the last one wasn't a 3 wide receiver league, it's closer to an A, probably.
Oyel wants to know, do you think CMC will be on a full workload for the next couple weeks? He doesn't want to trade Aaron Jones away if CMC is limited, because he asked earlier, Aaron Jones or CMC in a trade. I don't expect him to be limited in the coming weeks. Josh, what do you think?
Aaron Jones is limited. Aaron Jones has AJ Dillon limitation right next to it, right behind him. So see, a limited CMC, I'm still taking over Aaron Jones.
John Luke.
Call me crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I think unless we get new information on his injury, I expect him not to be limited.
Jared wants to know Hubbard or Dearness. So who would you rather roster? I'm guessing is what this means. They both are backups who have seen work this year and found success, right? But now both of their starters are back and healthy. John Luke, which one of these backup running backs would you rather roster?
I'd rather have Chuba Hubbard, I think, just in case CMC gets hurt. Dearness had a great game outside of that, not really much work at all.
Josh, what about you?
Hubbard for me as well. CMC, we've seen he's had some injuries in the past, and that happens. He's obviously a usable running back. Jay Ernest has 2 running backs in front of him he's kind of competing with in regard to that, where it's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So Chuba Hubbard for sure.
Yeah, you brought up the point I was going to bring back. Dearness Johnson doesn't have the backup role locked up rest of season. It's just until Hunt's back. Chuba Hubbard has a better chance of providing that value for your fantasy team. Javen wants to know, would you do Mixon and CD for Cup?
No.
These Cup questions
I understand why you would. I understand why you would.
No, I think Mixon for Cup is closer to fair value.
You stole the words out of my mouth. I was going to say I would do Mixon for Cup.
You probably need to add something to the Mixon side in my mind to make it fair. But like, I could see it go through, and I'm not like going to veto it if I saw Mixon being traded for Cup. It's not like I'm going to get upset about that.
I think what evens it out a little bit is just the positional scarcity, like we talked about a lot. That makes it, because I would take Cup in a vacuum, but.
Yeah.
Evan says, I have Josh Allen. Should I trade away CD and AJ Brown for Robert Woods and Diggs? So a 2-for-2, all wide receivers, CD Lamb and AJ Brown for Robert Woods and Diggs. And it would give him the stack if that leans you at all. I think that's why he let us know he had Josh Allen.
No, I'm not making that trade.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, it's a downgrade in my mind.
At both.
At both.
For me.
Yeah. I am. I am not as certain as you guys that Robert Woods won't finish the season higher than CD Lamb.
That's fair.
But I don't think that it's. I think that
you're taking CD Lamb in a draft over Robert Woods, right? If you had to draft right now,
it's hard though, because what is name value and what's not. I might take Robert Woods because he's just getting the volume there. I mean, like we mentioned earlier in the stream, he's wide receiver 12 in the season so far in PPR leagues, and that offense it's humming. So I don't know. It is a tough choice for me.
I know we've got more questions in here. I just wanted to throw this one on here. JR said the 3 of you together is the best scenario for office hours, followed by just 2 of you, followed by 3 of you guys in a rando.
Okay, beautiful.
We should definitely bring in a rando. Like, just throw that into the mix. They have no idea. Have no idea what the stream's even about. Never heard of fantasy football.
Let's bring JR on.
That's not a rando. That would be awesome.
I know.
Justin in here said, rate my squad, 10-team PPR, 6-3. Stafford and Taysom Hill at quarterback, Aaron Jones, J-Rob, Javonte, Daryl Williams, AJ Dillon at running back, Hill, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Waddle, A-Rob, Gallup, then tight end Pitts and Schultz. It's an A team. This is a good team.
A+.
Yeah. You knew the answer to that, Justin.
You just wanted us to tell you how good your team was. And you know what? We're here to do it. That is an excellent team, Justin. You are killing it.
There's no holes. Like, you can't find a problem, really.
Sometimes that's a problem, but with your fantasy roster, it is not. Andrew said Javonte, Aiyuk, or Alex Collins for my flex PPR. JL, where are you going here?
Let me pull up their matchups.
I'll tell you guys this. If Chris Carson's not playing, I am actually starting Alex Collins over Javonte Williams, and it might be a little bold. I really like Alex Collins with Russell Wilson in the Seahawks offense without Chris Carson. Javonte's probably a safer play though. Probably.
I'm right there with you, Josh. Alex Collins if Russell Wilson plays and Chris Carson does not. Javonte otherwise.
I would rather start Aiyuk over Collins, PPR actually.
There's a lot of buts. There's a lot of ifs though we made with Collins.
Yeah. Either way, I'm assuming Chris Carson isn't playing this week, and I'm assuming Russ is playing this week, and I'd still rather start Aiyuk. And I think I would start Javonte over Aiyuk, but just barely.
Carlos wants to know Goddard or Muth this week, and then it's Pat Freiermuth for those of you who are not hip on the new nicknames flying around out there. Goddard or Pat Freiermuth this week. Josh, where are you going here?
Goddard.
Yeah, it's closer than I thought it would have been if you asked me this question 2 weeks ago, but it's still Goddard for me as well.
I think I might go Freiermuth. He's playing Detroit, which is a slightly better matchup than Denver. Tight end, so it is a close one.
The Colombian, earlier we said maybe you could try to go after a running back to upgrade their running back core. Do you guys have any running backs that would be a good one to trade for right now? The first name that comes to mind, we've said it already a couple times this show, is David Montgomery. Since he's been out for so long, just played one game and he didn't explode. He had a good game. you might be able to get decent value on him, and he's a great starting running back. Josh.
Christian McCaffrey?
I mean, you can try for Christian McCaffrey. That's a great name to try to go for.
James Robinson. Maybe people are nervous about him for some reason. Because he just missed a game. Darrell Henderson just had a bad game, but I think he's going to be fantastic the rest of the season still. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Justin in here, follow up on his question earlier, said Sam Darnold might not play, so if he doesn't, Waddle over DJ Moore, but Waddle plays Thursday Night Football. And in my answer, when I picked DJ Moore, I was assuming there's a chance Sam Darnold doesn't play. I don't think it's that big of a downgrade from what we've seen recently from Sam Darnold to PJ Walker. So I would still start DJ Moore.
Same.
Sure wants to know what's the status on AB and Deontay Harris. Do we have any updates there, guys?
Still in a walking boot as of yesterday.
AB was
but the team is expecting him to return this week, so it's possible.
Sure. Also,
I wouldn't be relying on AB this week.
No, I would not.
Sure wants to know what is your take on Zay Jones? I feel like this guy is the missing link. Any interest in Zay Jones for fantasy?
It's the missing from my fantasy team. Not missing.
Adam.
I don't want him on there. I don't want Zay Jones.
he'll have some big catches. Know what I mean? He's not going to disappear, but I have no interest in rostering Zay Jones.
No, one catch, 4 targets in this game against the Giants.
Yeah,
not interested.
Also, the Colombian said Felton and Chub have COVID-19. Don't forget that. Dearness must have a good role for Week 10. But Josh brought it up earlier. Both of the players are vaccinated, so all they have to do before Sunday is have 2 negative COVID tests. So there's still a very real chance that Chubb and Felton are both active for this Sunday's game. If they don't play, yeah, absolutely. Dearness is locked and loaded. Plug them in your lineups, but it's not a guarantee that they're going to be out. Sure wants to know who we would go with. He said, who would you go with out of these 3? Waddle, Devonta, Elijah Moore.
Devonta Smith or Devonta Freeman?
And so
I'm assuming Smith.
I'm assuming Smith.
It's Smith. Yeah. They're all rookie wide receivers. Who do I want the rest of the season or this week?
This week, I think.
You know what? It's Waddle.
Yeah.
But
what about you?
Smith and Waddle are neck and neck for me.
It's Waddle, yeah, for sure. They are close, but it's very easily Waddle for me.
Waddle for me as well. It is Waddle for me.
But the answer's the same.
Yep. Jared said, thanks for the rate, my team. We got you. It said, if I'm looking to sell Monty, would Monty plus Tannehill for Tyler Lockett be solid? I'd be looking to get a little more.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That would not make me feel good. Lockett just hasn't been consistent enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Charlie wants to know, what about Chubb for Swift straight up in PPR? Which back would you prefer rest of season, Nick Chubb or DeAndre Swift?
Don't ask me these questions.
I'll take Chubb.
No PPR.
In PPR, yep.
I'll take Swift.
It's very close. It is very, very close.
Take Swift. Maybe I am a Chubb hater, guys. Maybe I'm a Chubb hater.
Secret Chubb hater. God, I guess I'll go Chubb.
Chubb, 2 Chubbs and a Swift. Jave wants to know Pitts or Andrews rest of season, full PPR.
It's Andrews. I just did a tight end tiers video that I'm going to put out either later tonight or early tomorrow. And Andrews wound up in the elite tier while Pitts wound up in the must start tier. Both great fantasy options.
There are concerns.
Video to figure out why.
There are concerns for both of them for me. The emergence of Rashad Bateman is a little bit concerning for Andrews. I think they're sharing similar targets, but I do think this Ravens passing offense is doing enough to support 3 fantasy relevant players right now. They're throwing the ball a lot more than they have in years past. That being said, Pitts, the concerns are with Calvin Ridley out. He's now the focal point for opposing defenses. Like, they're able to double team him. I'm still going to go Pitts, but it is very close. Very, very close. JL, what about you?
Yeah, I think I would lean Pitts. The entire offense is funneling through him. 21.9% market target share in the last 3 games. It's high. Andrews isn't that far off, but
Andrews, I mean, is getting just as many targets, many more catches, and it showed a much more consistent floor.
Yeah. The offense still is not crazy pass heavy. which I'm not trying to argue against Andrews. I love Andrews, but
no, they're
if I'm trying to find an edge,
it's semantics here, you know.
Yeah. No, I think both of these guys will be top.
If I'm trying to find an edge, it's points per game, and Andrews is number 2 in the league behind Travis Kelce, and then Kyle Pitts is like down at like 7.
Yeah, well, he had a slower start to the season too, which is gonna definitely affect that.
Javen, on this same team, though, I'm guessing he wants to know, what about Pitts and David Montgomery for Travis Kelce? Upgrade the tight end position. Would you guys do that?
No, it's not enough of an edge.
Josh, would you do that?
I don't think you need to do it. I'm fine with it.
I'm right there with Josh. I think it's relatively fair, but I don't know if it's enough to make me go and make that move. If I feel like it would benefit my team enough. Justin says, I don't know how I'm 3-6 with this squad. 10 teams and might miss the playoffs. I know that, Justin. I've got some teams where I look at it and I'm like, how the hell is this team not 9-0? QB Hurts, running backs Zeke, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, Zach Moss, and AJ Dillon, then Lamb, Chase, Antonio Brown, Devonta Smith, Corey Davis.
I know how you're 3-6, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying this team isn't fantastic. I just see how it could pan out that way.
But when you look at it, if you just look at the names, I would not guess 3-6. But you're right. There's been enough things that have happened with these players this season where I can see how you ended up there. But I feel pretty good about this team down the stretch, especially with Saquon coming back. That really elevates your team.
It's still a great team.
You're going to sneak into the playoffs, Justin. Yeah. I'm going to call my shot right here. You're going to sneak into the playoffs, 5 or 6 seed, and you'll be good to go.
Don't give up, Justin. You got this.
Also, Swamps is not a fantasy question, but did you start the new season of Big Mouth JL? I just started yesterday, and so far it's pretty okay.
What new season? You mean the season that came out? Didn't it come out like a few months ago? Am I wrong?
I think it just brand new season came out ago.
Oh, that's so exciting! Thank you, Swamp. Let's go.
Yes, thank you, Swamp.
I didn't know that.
There was a new season. What Josh is doing tonight.
Let's go.
This is actually it's coincidental that you asked me that because I just watched the first episode of Big Mouth 2 nights ago. I think I texted Simon that.
You did.
So I have not started the new season because I just started the first episode of the show.
I misinterpreted that text when you sent it to me, JL. I forgot you had never seen the show. I assumed you meant you started.
I was wondering why your reaction was very much just like, "Oh, how's it going?"
Now that you say that, I wish I would have reacted so much more than I did.
I thought you'd be more excited that I started watching it.
And Swamp, I have not started watching it yet, but my girlfriend and I will likely throw on an episode tonight. We are so excited about the new season.
It's raunchy, so it's not for everyone.
Which is the one that is everybody has to get past that you guys always say?
Just the first episode.
Just the first episode. Like the first 10 minutes.
When they all turn into giant wieners playing basketball, that's the point where I turned it off on 3 different occasions. But once you get past
suggesting it, Simon, so I just figured that was par for course.
It's such a good show. Just get into it. It's good. They do
get past the wiener basketballs, and then it's a great show. Also, we probably proved his point. Yeah. Best takes on fantasy football, but not on TV shows. We're sitting here talking about giant basketball wieners, but I really appreciate that. Share that means a ton. Glad you're in here.
Absolutely.
And then Charlie wants to know, can Elijah Mitchell clutch up for me if Chub is out? I think Elijah Mitchell's a great plug-in if Chub is out. Josh, if Chub is out, would you rather start Dearness Johnson or Elijah Mitchell, assuming Chub is out?
Oh, okay.
That's actually a great question.
Thank you. Both of you acted.
The answer is Elijah Mitchell. The answer is Elijah Mitchell. That's how good of your running back he is. I feel very good about Elijah Mitchell. Just the fact that you're not even starting him tells me you got a good team. A pretty solid team. Elijah Mitchell, I know he was a little bit disappointing last week, but as long as San Francisco stays competitive in games, he's going to be very involved, and he showed that he can pass catch last week, which is great. So even if they're down, it looks like he could still have a role.
Yeah, he's got high end RB2. That's where I'm expecting him to finish the rest of the season. And I think his upside could be even higher if they start using him in the receiving game. Exactly what I was going to say.
Nailed it, Charlie.
Which we saw this past week for the first time.
The reason I brought that up is I think a lot of people might say if Chubb is out to start Dearness Johnson over Elijah Mitchell, but I agree with you guys. I'm going Elijah Mitchell. It is close, and we saw Dearness Johnson absolutely ball out without Chubb in there before. That was an unreal game. Dearness Johnson will be good. He'll be startable, but don't expect another another game like we saw from him last time. And Elijah Mitchell is a great plug-in. Volk says traded Ridley for Judy, then Sutton for Beasley. Thoughts?
So you're trying to get out of the Broncos wide receivers, it seems like.
The Ridley
never mind. You traded Ridley for Judy.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Ridley for Judy. I assume redraft.
Like redraft.
Well, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a no-brainer for me.
And then Sutton for Beasley, I don't like that trade. I'll be honest with you. I would rather have kept Sutton and Judy on the team, but I'm way more excited for Judy rest of the season than Sutton, so I'm not mad about it.
I'm fine with both. I'm fine with both.
The Ridley for Judy trade, I'm all about. I think that was a great move.
Do you guys expect him to play this season?
No.
I don't know. No one really knows, right? I don't think Calvin Ridley knows, but I lean no.
I'm just assuming no, and if he does, it'll be a pleasant surprise. I'm sorry, right there. The Chosen Rose wants to know, who would you start? Pick 2, Emmanuel Sanders, Christian Kirk, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, or Van Jefferson. So you have to start 2
Emmanuel Sanders
of these players.
And Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Let me pull up their matchups. Hold on.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders. He kind of had a bounce back week last week. He got the targets, he got the receptions. I feel comfortable with him, and it was a bad Bills week, so I feel good with him. And Jerry Jeudy is just showing improvement coming back from this injury. I want him in my lineup.
Yeah, let's see, man. Yeah, he's playing the Bills are playing the Jets. Denver is playing Philly. I'm with Josh. Emmanuel Sanders and Jerry Jeudy.
Man, I want to say Van Jefferson, but it's the wrong answer. You're right, Josh. It's Emmanuel Sanders and Jerry Jeudy. I don't even think Van Jefferson's third here. I think Kirk is probably third.
He's last place.
I'd start him over Tim Patrick. I would start him over Tim Patrick, but that's about it. Guys, I think that's going to be it for us today. We've been here a little over an hour answering questions. We're going to have to jump for now. I appreciate everyone coming in, bringing us all these questions. We love answering them. And you guys brought some good ones today, some tough ones. But we will be back live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time playing some more games. And we answer questions throughout the game show. So bring them over there if you want to have them answered. And then on Thursday, we will be here again at 4:15 Eastern time, right after the fantasy football game show, doing nothing but answering your questions yet again. So make sure to come tune in for that. And the easiest way to make sure you don't miss out on those guys is to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, a little notification bell. We'll make sure you know when we are live.
That's actually really funny. I just read that comment. Chris Harnett, UFC fighter. It was so funny. If you haven't seen the video, check it out.
Yeah, Carlos said that he's unsubscribing unless we do that on the stream. Unless
it's dangerous, man. Good luck, Jail.
I don't have much room around
dude
me.
Who did that flip. That was
I know. I saw.
That was wild. That was absolutely crazy. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for coming in. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.